up, YouTube.com? It's your boy back again, K Shillings, back at you one more time. And this video is in response to the Bill Simmons and Jalen Rose Grantland podcast that they do. Just a couple thoughts. I noticed that, well, basically for those who don't watch Grantland, they went from they basically ranked all the NBA teams like a power ranking going into the new season. And the Miami Heat actually ranked number 2 on the list instead of number 1. And they actually had the Bulls ranked as number 1. So my response was based on what? Now, I understand Derrick Rose is a former MVP and he's returning this season. But what else? Derrick Rose has been there in the past and the Heat have still won. So exactly what are you using to base that the Bulls are going to be the number 1 team in the NBA? And that's not even only weird for Miami. I would put San Antonio over the Bulls. There's other teams I would put over. I'll probably even put Indiana, or they'll be on the same footing or whatever. But I don't think the Bulls are the number 1 team in the NBA going into the new season. That doesn't make any sense. Based on what? If you look at their roster, you got Derrick Rose coming back. They're going to have a strong backcourt with the Jimmy Butler guy. Jimmy Butler is a great defender, pretty good offensive player. I think they're going to have a dangerous backcourt. Okay, they're going to have Mike Dunleavy off the bench. You mean tell me that was the acquisition that was going to put them over the top? Absolutely not. That's not going to even make that big of a difference. It will make a difference. He's going to be a factor coming off the bench playing next to Derrick Rose, but that's not enough to put you at number 1. You have Luol Deng returning. Luol Deng is a very good glue type player. He reminds me of Shane Battier in a lot of ways. He's a good shooter. He has a good, mid-range game, kind of. He's a great defender, though. On-ball defender and team defender. Luol Deng is legit. You still have Joakim Noah as the center. To me, he's a rich man's Anderson Varejao. He has more of an offensive arsenal, but he's not a great offensive player. He's like energy, hustle type, and defense, really. So that's why I think he's like a rich man's Varejao. But you have all these people, many of which were there before when Miami was dominating the Bulls. And then there's one person. Had they traded this person for a piece that could make them a contender, I could possibly agree with a number 1 ranking. But they still have Carlos Boozer. As long as they have Carlos Boozer, they're not going to be a number 1 team. They're not going to come out the East. They're not going to really do anything but give the Heat a very entertaining series in the playoffs as they do every year. But when you have Boozer as your starting 4 and one of your star players, it's not going to work out for you. Now, if they can find a way to package maybe him and Deng up, I think they should go after Paul Gasol of the Lakers. But if they could package maybe them up, him and Deng up, and get a good piece, I could agree. But until then, Miami is the number 1 team. They're the defending champions. They have LeBron James. And then they added pieces. Their acquisitions could actually be very big in the future. Now, first you have Michael Beasley. Very talented offensive player who will need work as far as, getting his head straight, playing defense and things like that. Has size, has a high skill level. If they can get his mind right, and one thing which we saw in the past, I could use I know people are getting tired of the Michael Jordan comparisons, but was Dennis Rodman not a very troubled player? Did he not have a history of issues or whatever? Granted, Beasley isn't near the rebounder or defender that Dennis Rodman was, but Beasley is a very talented person. He was once, the number 2 pick in the draft. Had a very great collegiate career. I think he had a season with Miami before where he averaged like 17 points and 8 or something like that. So he's obviously a talented player. If they could, get his mind right, I believe, and playing next to the best player in the world. If you're not gonna get your mind right playing next to the best player in the world, and while you have a chance at the championship, then it's never going to happen for you. So they have that. And then, Greg Oden, if he could have some form of health, he could just be a big body to clog the paint and protect the rim. And that's all you really need from him. So, to me, they're very low-risk, high-reward acquisitions that people aren't paying that close attention to. And I think they're going to be big come the playoffs. So, I do think the Heat are the favorite to, three-peat. But even if they aren't the favorite, I would have rather they put the Spurs number one or whoever else. But I don't think the Bulls are the number one team in the NBA. Come on, Bill Simmons. Come on, Jalen Rose. What are you talking about? Well, Jalen Rose was kind of talking against that pick. But Bill Simmons, the ESPN guy, is talking about the Bulls are number one. They're not number one. Come on, man. Anyway, subscribe to the page, and if you agree, comment. If you disagree, comment, like the video. All right, see you next time. And also, the Shilling 7 is still coming, the power forwards and centers. That's still on the way, so stay tuned.